Hey guys, it's your guy JD and I'm back with another video, guys. So we gonna be looking at what happened on gold on the previous week and what's gonna happen in the coming week. So what we're gonna be working on actually here is my trading plan that I've been working on for the coming week on gold. Okay, so there's a lot of things, okay, which might happen on the market. It's not that my word is gonna be final or is gonna play out exactly as I'm gonna show you here. The market might move different because remember, guys, trading is not predictive but reactive. Okay, we're gonna have to react based on our price action, and if we're throwing a bit of the COT data into that, then we get the weekly sentiment and bias and what we need to be looking out for throughout the week. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in the video, guys. So first, I'm not gonna start on my chart, guys. I'm gonna start with the COT data. So let's go. So here we are, guys, on my COT data. But last week when I posted this data, I got a lot of negative comments, which I wasn't understanding why people were saying those kind of thing. Some of them said this data is useless. Some of them, they said it's not complete, it's pointless. Some of them said I just went and copied somebody's work and come and put it here. But we all know that the COT data is released each and every Friday, 3:30. You can get a new update. Okay, I have my own sources where I get the data. Okay, but you can also use your own sources where you can get your COT data. Okay, so let's go ahead, guys. So this trading plan that you see here is gonna be the gold trading plan for the week. Okay, so on my first chapter here, or my first point, I'm only gonna be looking on the commitment of traders, which means that I'm gonna check what the large speculators are doing on gold and what the large speculators are doing on the dollar to get my direction on the market. So as you can see here on the previous data, this is the previous data. You can see here on the buying positions, they had over 316,000 buying position, and they got that number after closing 5,000 buying position. But the change that we see on this week is that they have more than 327,000 buying position, and to get that number they had to add more than 11,000 buying position. Okay, they added more than 11,000 buying positions. Okay, so when we look at the selling side, guys, our selling side, you can see here on our selling side what we have on our selling side. They have around 66,776 selling position. They got that number after adding more than 3,054 selling position. But you can see on the current week we have a huge change, okay, because we have more than 89,000 selling position and they added more than 22,000 selling positions, okay, which led us on having this kind of a net position. Okay, so to get the net positions, guys, remember you have to come and subtract this number with this number here, and then you're gonna get this number here. So that is our net position positions based on that. Okay, and you can see that we are quite down here because we ended up dropping more than 40,000 long positions. Okay, so that's what you need to see there. Okay, so going forward, if we have to look at the observation of it, you can see longs increased on gold, showing some interest in gold buying. Okay, but though short increased faster than longs, a significant bearish divergence is expected. Okay, so the net longs dropped by more than 40,000 contracts, indicating that the large speculators are unloading. They are unloading on bullish positions or hedging. So I might say they are big hedging instead of unloading, because if we look at this year, okay, they still added 11,000 buys. Okay, but although we can see that they added more, okay, or double the amount on the selling side, okay, which ended up pushing our net position lower. So yeah, I'm still sticking on, they say that they are hedging. Maybe the hedge is that for a consolidation that we're gonna see, and they added more here because what you're gonna need to expect to see now is that gold is dropping, okay, to create a less price or a cheaper price for more buyers to come in. Okay, I don't think that is gonna drop that far, but it's dropping to create more demand. Okay, because when the price is less, demand start happening. So if there's more demand, then we're gonna start having less supply, which is gonna push the price higher again. Okay, so on the dollar side, as you can see, the dollar index here, the large speculators had more than 22,000 last week, but this week they have more than 23,000. We can see that last week they closed more than 900 buying position, but this week they added more than 900 buying position. And on the previous week on the selling side, they had over 15,000 selling position, but this week they have over 16,000 selling position. And we can see that last week they closed more than 1,000 selling position, but this week they added more than 1,000 selling position, which is pushing our net position down by 427. Okay, so if we go down here, you can see on the interpretation here, the net longs drop significantly on gold. The large speculators are losing conviction. Okay, on gold, we have a slight fade in the net long, but still holding up, which may indicate USD strength still present. Okay, so when we look at the fundamental aspect also, the fundamental tilt, the Fed is still cautious on cutting rates. Inflation is sticky, favors the strong dollar. Okay, and on the technical structure on gold, gold made an all-time high but failed to hold. Potential exhaustion and pullback are expected on gold. So this is the price section on gold, which I'm going to show you all on my chart. So let's go ahead and jump on my chart. Okay, so I have this all for you on my charts. Okay, so you can see here on the first day we were bullish on the first day of the week, and then followed by a bearish doji, which is also representing the start of the indecision on the market, followed by a bullish but failed to break above the day two's high, which is a fading in strength. Okay, then when we go up on the fourth day, we had a large sweep of both highs and lows. Okay, of the previous 3 days, we swept all these candlesticks here. Okay, we saw a liquidity grab, but then we ended up closing down at 3,112. And then day 5, we broke the day 4 day. Okay, we were bearish. Okay, breaking the day 4's low and closed at 3,037 after touching 3,015. Okay, so this is what we're gonna be looking at. So all my Fibonacci retracement, I'm gonna show you all of this down on my charts. So let's go ahead and jump in the charts, guys. So, okay guys, here we are on our chart, and as I have explained already that I don't only look at my chart to conclude my trading plan. I combine my fundamental aspect, which include the COT data. Okay, so here on my chart you can see, guys, this is the gold chart that we have and what has been happening on gold. Okay, so if we look at this price section here, you can see that gold always, when it come and test here, it was always pushing down, testing here, always pushing down, testing here, always pushing down, until we found this positive move here after rejecting here on this equal low here, and then we started pushing up, and then after rejecting, we can see a retest of that break there. Okay, and that's when gold started making a series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay, pushing all the way up just like that. But that doesn't conclude what we need to be looking at for now, because if we just look at the monthly time frame, okay, even if we're just looking at the monthly time frame where we are now, we can still agree on one thing. Okay, gold hasn't yet tested the 50% of the previous month's candlestick. So what I do most of the time, I tend to measure the movement that the last month's candlestick made, and if we do that, we can see that we have the 50% here at 2993.85, which is the price that gold hasn't yet tapped into. But also, we might not forget that we also have this level here. So we're gonna be looking into this area now here. Okay, so I believe that God will either retest this area here, okay, or go down here. So the areas I'm looking at is gonna be to cover this area down here, or just to cover the 50% of the retracement. But I believe that there's much that we can get to see out of that on gold. Okay, so let's not waste time, guys. What I'm gonna do is to dive in deeper into a weekly time frame, and then we can see what the weekly have for us. So you can still see that here on the weekly time frame, guys. So the candlestick I highlighted here, this is the last bearish candlestick we had on the weekly time frame when we were heading up before we created the one that we have. Okay, so on a monthly time frame, before I forget, you can see that we did manage to sweep above this liquidity. Okay, we managed to sweep the liquidity, which was the high that we had on the previous month. We swept above it. Okay, so if we manage to sweep above it, the sweep above it at this price of 3,127, and then a fallback is indicating that gold is failing to hold the momentum or to push even higher for now. Okay, so if we go down to a weekly time frame, we can still see what we are facing here. Okay, you can see here on the previous week, which was bullish, we failed to push even further high, which we ended up having this week pushing for it. Okay, so if we were to just highlight the week, only the week of this week that we're coming from, then we drag it and come and measure the previous week, which was bullish on gold. You can see that this week created the size, okay, or the amount of movement which was made by this last bullish candlestick here, which is something that I'm gonna be looking into also. Okay, so we also managed to sweep the liquidity which was above here, and then we went up, retested and create the all-time high, but failed to hold above and fall back inside and closing low with a bearish week on gold. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that now we are gonna start looking for a reversal or a potential move back to this area here. So the thing that we're going to be looking for when we drag it down back to this area, it might be just a sweep of this liquidity down here, or just a retest on this on the middle of this bearish candlestick here. Okay, we might just retest the midpoint of it, which is going to be here, and then from there we'll look for another continuous move to the upside. But I will pretty love it when we sweep this liquidity and have a retest on the support structure there before we start pushing all the way up on gold. Okay, that's what I would love to see on gold, guys. So let's go ahead and look at what we have on the daily time frame. So I did explain there on my data on the daily time frame that on our daily time frame, this is what we were having. Okay, and as you can see, this was the first day of the week. We were bullish, but we closed here. The following day, which was the second day, we went bullish but failed to close up. We closed down with a bearish doji candlestick, followed by a bullish, which so the second day did indicate a bit of indecisive on the market. The indecision was started to occur here on the second day of the week. Okay, the third day we see that we had a bullish momentum but failed to break the wick of this doji here, which was also showing the weakness on the buying side. Okay, so the bulls were losing momentum. Okay, the bears were pulling up a fight here. So when we go for the first day, which did two things that if you are a trader you were able to look into, we can see that this day had this high here, okay, and had this low which is down here. Okay, so that high and low that we see now, which were created there, is not just a high and low. Okay, this happened because we were sweeping both the buying side and the selling side. Okay, we were able to sweep the liquidity above and the liquidity below. Okay, so a change of character which occurred here, that the market is shifting. Okay, a liquidity grab which happened on the day on the fifth day here when we pulled back up here, and then we came and have a nice break of structure there which indicate a shift on the market. Okay, so we can also look at this bullish channel that we had here, which we ended up breaking it. So the only thing that we look for after a break, guys, as you know, that we always go for a retest after each and every single break. You have to be looking up for a retest, and we're gonna be looking for anything which is gonna be happening on this price section up here, and then we're gonna be looking for our short trade inside that area there. So that's what we're gonna be looking for on gold on the daily time frame, guys. But what do we see moving forward into 4 hours time frame? Okay, so on 4 hours time frame, this is my Fibonacci which is laid out on the high to the low of the week. Okay, as you can see, the points there, it's laid out on the high and the low of the week. So you can see this is our break, which was a previous support. The market was supporting on this zone here. As you can see, we were testing that area. Even though we broke here, we failed to close below this area here. We ended up pushing back inside on the market, okay, until we finally came down here and have a proper break, and then we push even lower to this area where we retested this zone down here. And after the retest of that zone, there's something that you can see now after retesting that zone. Okay, we didn't just retest that zone, we retested that zone here as this zone here, okay, which was also the last bearish candlestick before we push up on this momentum here. So after retesting that order floor there, which is currently the support that we are looking at, that's when I started to realize that we are going to go for a push which is going to be happening to lead us maybe all the way on the 50% of our Fibonacci, because on this 50%, guys, it's where we have this AVG here. We do have an AVG there on the 1 hour time frame, which I'm going to show you. Okay, so if we were to look into an hourly time frame, you will see what I'm talking about there. Okay, so like I said, the structure shift, the liquidity grab which was happening here, we sweep this high here which was created here with this first rejection, and then we came all the way down. Okay, we came all the way down, and then we ended up breaking and closing all the way down here. So now we can see here that there's a reason why we saw those 11,000 added on buying side position, but we still have more than 22,000 selling position. Now it does make sense that we're gonna be looking for these orders which are here. Okay, so you can see all this liquidity which was created here. There's a lot of liquidity pool here, which might end up we might end up seeing the price pushing all the way up there, and we look for any rejection that is going to be happening on that fair value gap there, because we must not forget that on our 1 hour you can see that this doji here had the wick there, and then we had this candlestick which had a wick here, which leaves this opening here on the middle, which is the zone that we're gonna be looking forward into retesting going forward on this week. Okay, so this is the zone that we're gonna be looking to retest on, and then we're gonna be looking to take our trades right on this zone here. Okay, we might have to scale down maybe to 30 minutes, 15 minutes or 5 minutes to get a nice entry on this zone here. You can still see even on 15 minutes the gap is still there. On 30 minutes, pardon me, on 30 minutes the gap is still there. And then if you go down to maybe 15 minutes, on 15 minutes we can see that we still have a bit of a gap which is inside there. Okay, so that's where we're gonna be looking into. But on 5 minutes, I'm not sure if the gap is still gonna be there. There's no gap, but there's enough liquidity which is there, which I'm gonna be expecting to see a tap on it, and then we're gonna be looking for our reversal, which I believe that we're gonna be sweeping this high here, and then that's where we're gonna be taking our sales from. Okay, so it means that we can try to buy from down here all the way back up here to get ourselves, but I don't consider that much. I'm just gonna be looking at this box here. Okay, so should we sell down back to this area here, or back to this area here, I'm gonna be looking for a buy which is gonna be leading me all the way up here. Okay, So when I get here, I'm gonna be taking my profit, and then that's where I'm gonna be opening my selling positions. So that's all I see on gold, guys, and I hope this clears a lot of misunderstanding or what I see on the market. Okay, I know you might see it different. We have a different approach on the market. You might be seeing something different because remember, guys, the market have two sides. Okay, those who are gonna be looking for buys and those who are gonna be looking for sales. Okay, and one of those part is gonna be losing and one of those part is gonna be making money. Okay, or we can still have both part but we still make money, all of us, based on where we entered and where we exited. Okay, so until next time, guys, when I drop another video, just leave a comment below here, tell me what to look for next time or tell me what to analyze next time, guys. I'm out.